Siomra beag.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sure Look, Sure Listen, the podcast that takes a pop at culture. Sure Look, Sure Listen.
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 Sure look, sure listen. Oh, very good, Benjamin. We've got a jam-packed week this week. Sure look, we'll be taking a look, Ben, sure look, at Captain Mario. No, Super Mario. The very man himself. He's doing a casting, apparently, Benjamin. But also, there's vampires everywhere, Ben, in Night Teeth, which is very hard to say for an Irish person. And there was a trailer for Stranger Things 4. You're going to tell us about Apple TV, which is something that's going on. I've watched Midnight Mass. And there was a new episode of Marvel's What If, Ben. We're bloody packed to the gunnels.
Sure listen, Michael, we were chock-a-block this week, and if that wasn't enough, we'll be taking a look at the emerging trope of good for her.
Good for her.
Good for her, which examines the use of female revenge as both plot and theme.
Very
in
interesting.
films these days, Michael, in films these days. So that's
Very
what we're having a look at.
interesting. Benjamin,
Yeah.
I was awoken on Friday morning by a message on our Discord. Have you ever been on it?
I've been up on that Discord, baby.
Get up on it. There's a link in the description. There's a growing community. Benjamin, but I was awoken on Friday morning by a bingity bong from Discord. And on Discord, my good friend Andrew Sean Northridge had posted a picture, Ben, of Star-Lord in a Super Mario hat and mustache. And I said, what tomfoolery is this on Friday morning? I've neither the time nor the energy for this sort of tomfoolery. But Benjamin, it turned out to not be tomfoolery at all.
It was Chris Foolery?
I see what you've done. Very good. But it's real, Ben.
Yeah.
They've done a Super Mario, Ben, but they've got a Chris Pratt as a Super Mario.
Yeah.
Now, Ben, what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 or 4 minutes and you're going to explain that to us and explain why that appears to be upsetting people.
Okay. So, look, Michael, nobody knew, first of all. As you
Out
said.
of the blue, Ben.
Yeah.
Absolutely out of the blue.
Yeah. So tomfoolery was the order of the day.
Jiggery pokery.
No, nobody knew about this, Michael. This was a shock announcement. But you know, sometimes we get shock announcements in video game movie adaptations and things like that, and some of the names that are brought to our attention are usually standard names from the gaming industry, Michael, and we go, "Oh yeah, okay. I've heard him in things."
Benjamin.
Yeah.
Do you remember how shocked we all were when schlubby comedian Chris Pratt was cast as Star-Lord?
Yeah, that was a big shock, wasn't it, Michael? Yeah.
He just keeps doing it.
I think that's his career. I think basically his agent goes out and finds anything that really doesn't suit him
Stunt casting.
and just says, stick him in that.
Yeah.
Stick him in that. And it's pretty interesting because what we got, Michael, is not only did we get a surprise announcement about Nintendo's expanding its cinematic universe.
Yes, the
NCU,
Nintendo
if you will.
Cinematic Universe. Yeah, good.
What we got is all-star voice casting.
So many stars, Ben.
So many stars, Michael. So the first and most controversial, which we'll return to, is Mr. Chris Pratt as Mario.
Yeah.
Very controversial, Michael.
Why
Very
is it controversial, Ben? Is it because he's an evangelical Christian?
Yeah, we'll get into that in a sec.
All right.
Luigi, we got Charlie Day is going to be playing Luigi, which I think is an excellent bit of casting.
All right, go on.
Yes, very good. Peach is going to be played by Anya Taylor-Joy.
Okay. A standard princess character.
A standard princess character. But Michael, where the internet has lost its collective mind is, of course, Jack Black playing Bowser.
Is that what people are losing their mind over? I don't think it is. I thought people were losing their mind over Chris Pratt.
Because he's a giant homophobe.
No, because, Ben, I don't know if you know this, but Super Mario, Ben, he's a small, little, tiny Italian fella.
He is, yeah.
And is Chris Pratt going to do a little, small, tiny Italian fella voice, Benjamin?
Oh, it's a me, Mario. Oh, no, it's going to be awful.
Is that your Chris Pratt doing Mario voice?
That's my Chris Pratt doing Mario. And you know what? It's, as far as we know, Michael, because we haven't heard it yet, that's very accurate.
Who bloody knows? Now, there is a thing to be said, Ben. Chris Pratt is actually very good at voices and accents.
Is he?
He's very good at it, yes. Have you ever seen him doing Essex?
No, I haven't actually.
There's a clip of the Graham Norton show from a few years ago where he does Essex, and it's absolutely impeccable. He's very good. He's Ben Colopy level good at doing a funny voice.
I'm blushing.
Don't blush,
The viewers
Ben. No one can see.
Can't see that.
They can't see, Ben. But he's very good. But is he going to do "It's a me, Mario"? I hope he does, Ben. Yahoo! It's a me. I'm a Mario.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid Mario yourself there, Michael.
Yahoo! We have to save the princess. That's because, Ben, Mario is not Italian. The real actor who plays Mario, I don't think he's ever been to Italy.
Yeah, that's Charles Martinet, and that's who people actually wanted to play Mario.
I don't know if I could have taken him for a full film.
I mean, I don't think anybody could, but it's interesting.
It
isn't
couldn't be argued. It's a bit racially insensitive.
I mean, this is interesting, right? Because I don't think it's anything to do with Chris Pratt's aptitude for acting.
Right, go on.
I don't think fans are sitting there saying, "Oh God, I hope he does the genuinely Italian Mario voice justice," because that's not what's happening here. I think it's because he belongs to a big, giant evangelical mega church that has heavy ties to homosexuality hating.
Homo hating, as you call it.
Homo hating.
I think there was a term, Ben, but we're replacing it with that. Benjamin,
Homophobia.
I don't necessarily agree. I think it's the accent thing. I think it's just people are thinking, "Not my Mario." Hashtag not my Mario. And then jumping up in the air with one fist and going, "Woohoo!"
Not the end of the internet I'm on, Michael.
Yeah, well, like I said, Ben, every week you need to get out of that cesspool.
Yeah, I need to get out of the internet. I need to get out of the internet.
Cesspool.
I do.
Benjamin, it's animated anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of flexibility here. There's a lot to be done. I'm not excited for it. I'm not like a giant Nintendo nerd. I'd say it's gonna be very tongue in cheek because we've got the likes of Seth Rogen in there as Donkey Kong. So we're gonna have a lot of I'm Donkey Kong.
You'll have Jack Black going skip-a-da-doosh-ba-da-da. Whatever he says.
So I think it's going to be very tongue-in-cheek. I think we're going to have a lot of Anya Taylor-Joy maybe saying, "I don't need to be rescued anymore, Mario." Yes, and Mario being like, "What?"
Classic. Hey, what do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. But in the Chris Pratt voice.
Yeah.
So look,
Benjamin.
That's happening.
Look, it had to happen, Ben, after the success. But it's my first day speaking. Benjamin, it had to happen after the success of Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, we've opened the floodgates, Michael. The video game movies are just going to be poured on now. Sonic
will be here. Mario will be next. Sparkster and the Rocket Knight Adventures, Ben.
Oh, yeah,
Chester
Kirby.
Cheetah. Kirby, he'll get a film.
Mm-hmm.
Bugsy the Bobcat, he'll probably get a film.
Probably a Link film in the works.
Yeah, he'll get a film. Everyone will get a film. Films for everyone.
Yeah.
Ben, speaking of concepts that have outstayed their welcome, have you seen the trailer for the film Night Teeth?
Yes, big sexy lady vampires running around New York doing sexy lady vampire things.
Oh, sexy ladies doing sexy lady vampires. Ben, I didn't recognize either of the leads.
One is. I suppose both of the leads are unless you're a Disney Channel fan, Michael, you won't recognize one of the leads.
Go on.
One of the leads is the lead actress from a very popular Disney Channel kids show.
Yes, what's it called?
I'm not going to remember this now. This is terrible podcasting. Give me 2 seconds.
The Secret Life of Zack and Cody.
I mean, you're not a million miles wrong because it was about a rich family that lived in the penthouse of a hotel.
Oh, and we're living in a penthouse and we're rich.
She was the nanny. Anyway, it is starring.
Yes.
It is starring one Megan Fox, who we all know.
Yes.
Who we all know, Michael. Yeah. It's also starring. Do you know what? IMDb has become the worst thing I've ever seen. It's also starring Alexander Ludwig, and Sydney Sweeney is the name of the main actress. Sydney Sweeney and Megan Fox are the sexy. No, sorry, I tell a lot. Oh, this is terrible. I give up. I'm quitting.
This is some of the worst podcasting I've ever seen.
I'm out. I'm done. I quit the podcast. I'm finished.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. If anyone would like to apply to Phil Ben's position, send an email, hop up on the Discord, or send an email directly to Michaelandbenjaminspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, just let us know. It's Debbie Ryan, Megan Fox, Sydney Sweeney, and Alexander Ludwig are the main actors. Sydney Sweeney and Debbie Ryan are going to be playing the sexy lady vampires, and it's got a touch of the Collaterals about it, Michael.
Very much in the palette, the color palette.
No, even beyond that, Alexander Ludwig is playing a kind of a Jamie Foxx style, down on his luck limo driver,
right?
Who's just trying to make ends meet, Michael.
But instead of picking up a hitman, he's picked up two sexy lady vampires. And the exact line in the trailer, Michael, is, "Look, just do this for the evening, and we'll make you very, very rich. You'll make more tonight than you do in a year." And it's like, oh. And I don't see it ending well for him. I think he's going to end up either dead or killing them or a vampire.
No, I mean, look, if I had the option, Michael, I'd probably take vampirism at this point. I mean, life's very hard. Just put me in a cabal of rich people that take what they want.
Yeah. You don't want to be one of those grotty under a bridge vampires.
No, thanks.
No, that's how you'd end up. Benjamin.
Yeah.
Look, we'll see it. As per protocol, we will be required to see it.
Because we have a weekly podcast.
Pop culture, vampires and whatnot. Benjamin, speaking of things that have outstayed their welcome, have you seen the trailer for Stranger Things episode 4?
I don't care.
Season 4, who cares? Yeah. AKA Stranger Things season, who cares? Benjamin, it looks like they're doing a crossover with American Horror Story. That's all I can say. That's it. So it's the 50s, Ben.
Okay.
It's the 1950s, and a classic 50s family move into a house that could very well be the house from American Horror Story.
Okay.
And it looks like there's some sort of tragic event, Ben. Looks like the dad goes mad and kills the kids and the wife, and then maybe does a suicide. I'm not sure.
That's bad luck.
And then 30 years later or whatever, the Stranger Things kids are there to investigate. I'd kind of like if it wasn't anything to do with the Upside Down.
Can you imagine? It just becomes Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine. The gang, the traumatized gang's all here.
Yeah, wouldn't that be good? 11 doesn't have powers anymore, right? So she's just a normal...
Oh, does she not? I didn't see season 3. I didn't bother.
I don't remember, Ben. I really genuinely don't remember season 3.
Yeah,
I think it was in a mall.
Yeah, and I think Hopper's in prison or something.
Hopper's in Russia? That's how he became the Winter Soldier. Yeah, that's how he became the Winter Soldier. And then Black Widow breaks him out.
Yeah. That was the whole thing, wasn't it?
Ben, whatever.
Very hard to tell.
You know what I'm saying? Benjamin.
Yeah.
June is out.
June. Wait, what?
June is out. Not here, but everywhere else it's out.
That's bizarre.
People are seeing June left, right, and centre, and we're not.
That's bizarre.
Probably the film I'm most anticipating this year.
Why haven't we seen it, Michael? It's
not out here. I don't know what's going on.
We do a pop culture podcast.
Yeah, can we have it, please? Sure, look, Ben, speaking of niche interests, what have you got here? You've got Apple TV. What's going on with Apple TV?
So, Apple TV, Michael, seems to be hoping to separate itself from the rest of the streaming services, Michael, by investing heavily in big old sci-fi concept films.
Oh, like Netflix.
Like Netflix, but this time, Michael, it's not going to be a little bit of everything, Michael. They seem to be specifically going for this will make you a bit sad as a sci-fi film. There'll be people struggling to get by.
Like Netflix.
It's the Walking Dead style of speculative fiction, Michael.
Oh, no.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, things are shite, aren't they? Tune in every week to be a little bit more depressed.
Oh, no, I don't want to. I'm going to watch Stranger Things instead, thanks very much.
Oh, look at those 80s kids having 80s fun.
What are they doing? They're all adults now. Look at them. That guy's 35.
These guys aren't as cute when they're adults and kind of weird.
Yeah, young adults. I hate them. Don't want to see them.
Ew, boo.
Yeah, get
Let's
them
have
out
less
of
of that. Where's the fun nostalgia of D&D from season 1? Where's that gone?
Let's go back to that. Yeah, I don't want to see young adults having hormones and whatnot. Benjamin, what are we talking about? What's the shows?
There's 2 films and 1 show that are going to become. One is Isaac Asimov's very, very famous kind of seminal sci-fi work, Michael, Foundation.
I've never heard of him.
You've never heard of Isaac Asimov?
No, never heard of him.
Okay, Isaac Asimov is up there with the great fantasy and sci-fi authors of the American canon, Michael. Your Ray Bradbury's, your Ursula K. Le Guin's.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
No, because he's not American, Michael.
J.R.R. Rowling.
No, because she's not American, Michael.
Oh, J.R.R. Martin.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
So it's up there with the kind of the 60s onwards school of kind of seminal sci-fi things, and Foundation is about basically humanity has expanded to the stars, Michael.
We're always at that.
Yeah, we except in real life.
Except in real life, yeah. Then it's only billionaires.
Where there's no hope at all. Anyway, Michael, humanity's expanded to the stars. They haven't done a great job. Things are kind of in collapse, and there's an offshoot colony, Michael.
Right.
Full of thinkers, a think tank, if you will, Michael,
right,
called the Foundation. They go off, and it's about their kind of long history in space. It's speculative fiction at its finest, Michael. It's decades at a time's worth of world building, and
Elon
centuries.
Musk would be there.
Elon Musk would be there. He'd probably be sacrificed for being a pillock.
Jeff Bezos would be there.
He'd probably also be fed to the sharks for being a pillock. The space sharks, Michael.
Space sharks, of course. Richard Branson, inventor of the Branston pickle, he'd be there.
He just freaks me out, Michael. He's a weird guy.
He's always up to stuff. He's got too much money, Ben.
Like, they all unnerve me, but I feel like Richard Branson, when he climaxes, screams "Virgin" at the top of his lungs.
Probably does.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that you signed that NDA, Michael.
I think I might have overstepped it a little bit there. That's going to cost me a couple of mil.
Anyway, Foundation is one of the things that's being done. It's been done with our friend Beltaloda. Richard, what's his name?
Don't know.
The union guy who's all crooked in the Amazon one.
Oh, that guy. What's his face from Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah, what's his name?
I forgot his name. It doesn't matter. Just carry on.
Anyway, he's in it. He's important in it. But that's going to be a big spanning one. Adapting Foundation has often been thought impossible, Michael, because it jumps ahead so often. But Apple is just like, we're Apple. We can do this. It's fine.
We can do it. If anyone can do it, we, Apple, can do it.
Apple's done very well lately, Michael. It's probably growing in confidence. It's comedy show Ted Lasso, which is a wonderful show, Michael. A wonderful show that I recommend everybody watch. It's just a very enjoyable show. You just care about everybody in it. It's great. It's starring Jason Sudeikis, Michael.
Ooh.
That's just won a bunch of Emmys. A whole rake of Emmys, Michael.
Jared Harris.
Jared Harris is going to be in Foundation. But the other two that we got trailers for this week, Michael, are Invasion.
Oh, what's that about? I hope it's some sort of invasion.
Oh boy, there's an ancient thing on the planet and it's killing humans, but we thought it came from space. But did it come from space? Oh wait, it came from space millennia ago. So technically it was here before us, but it also came from space.
Didn't that happen to Chris Pratt just recently?
It did happen to Chris Pratt just recently, but I think they've hired non-homophobes for this one.
Oh, right. I thought it was homo haters. I thought that was the phrase you were going with.
I think they've hired non-homophobes or non-homo haters, as is the scientific term.
You're really disparaging Chris Pratt there without much evidence.
I don't care.
All right. As long as that's clear.
It's fine. I don't really care.
Right.
So, the other one that we got, Michael, is a trailer for Finch. Now, I'm going to describe a movie to you.
Okay. Is it the one where Will Smith helps you to get a date?
I mean, you're not a million miles off. It also stars a beloved American actor. I'm going to describe a film to you, Michael, and you're going to tell me what film you think it is.
Okay.
Right?
This is usually what I do to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got you.
I see. You've turned the tables.
So, Michael, what I'm going to do here, right?
Yes.
Is I'm going to make a film.
I'm looking forward to it.
And in that film, I'm going to cast American sweetheart Thomas Hanks.
Oh, I've seen it, Ben.
Yes, I'm going to. You probably have. He's been in lots of them. I'm going to cast American sweetheart Thomas Hanks.
Yes.
And unfortunately for Thomas Hanks, Michael, he finds himself in a situation where there's absolutely nobody else around.
No people, none at all. What would you do?
Yeah, do you know what, Michael? I'd put the gun to my head and I'd squeeze the trigger. I'm not interested in this.
You're giving me depression
I've had this debate before, Michael, right? I've had this debate before.
Yeah.
And I think we've had this debate before. The zombie apocalypse happens and everybody else gears up and they set out to carve out a brand new existence in the hellscape that has become Earth.
Oh, fucking hell.
Okay, let's say that happens.
Right.
Now you, Michael, I'd say you're going to do just fine.
Oh, Ben, I'd probably start a small feudal kingdom.
You'd start a small feudal kingdom. You'd challenge anyone who challenged you to cage fights, and you'd mercilessly beat them to death, Michael.
Probably, yeah.
And then throw them to the zombies.
Oh, we'd have a very, very interesting dress code, Ben.
Yeah, it'd be mostly spandex and leather, which is woefully impractical in a zombie apocalypse. But you're a feudal lord, Michael. What you say goes. Now, Michael, while you were building your empire...
Yes.
And frankly, a zombie apocalypse is probably a scenario that you would thrive in and have been waiting for, possibly.
I can't wait, Ben.
Yeah. So while you did that, Michael, I would also have set out on a path But for a very different reason, Michael. I'd be looking for a gun.
Oh,
and people
God.
would say, oh, yes, a gun would be very useful. And I'd say, yes, because I'm hoping to fight the zombies. Wink, wink, nudge,
very
nudge.
good. This is so depressing.
And as I absorbed the death and carnage around me, Michael, I'd just lose the will to live. I wouldn't be all that driven to try and rebuild society. And so I'd probably just take care of business.
Benjamin, you could have coins with your face on them.
Nah, I'm all right, thanks. My side profile is not great. My nose is very big. It'd be hard to fit on a coin.
No, I think that's good for coins because it's so small. You want a distinctive profile.
Oh, okay, you need a distinctive profile.
Yeah, people will be like, oh, it's Lord Colopy.
Well, that'll probably change my tune then if I have coins with my face on them. will it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
People will be like, oh, it's Lord Colopy. He was the voice of Mario when they ousted Chris Pratt. Before
was a
the end
homo
times. Yeah, before the end times. It was great.
Anyway, Michael,
Yes.
back to what we were talking about. Tom Hanks is on an island. Not on an island, sorry. He's just isolated from all the folks.
Yeah. He's on an
Nice.
island with a ball.
He slowly starts to go a little bit mad, Michael. And he finds an inanimate object and he starts talking to that and being best friends with that. And then he starts to push himself in desperate measures to try and, get away from where he is with no people. What film am I describing, Michael?
You are describing the classic Tom Hanks film, Joe versus the Volcano.
No, I'm not. No.
You are
But it was-
describing the classic Tom Hanks film, Ben. I'm stuck in the airport.
No, I'm afraid I'm not.
You're describing, Ben, the classic Tom Hanks film. It's I want
You
to be
all right? Are you having like a stroke on
I
the
don't
other
know.
side of the...
I want to be bigger than I am.
Yeah, no, none of those, Michael. I'm describing the classic Tom Hanks film.
Yes.
Ah, shit, I'm on an island.
I wish I wasn't on this island starring Tom Hanks.
So it sounds like Castaway, Michael. It actually isn't. It's the plot for the upcoming Finch, Michael, from Apple
Oh.
TV.
How very good.
And Finch is set during an apocalypse, Michael. Tom Hanks seems to be the last man alive,
Oh, why?
or the last man for millions of miles around. That's not actually explained, Michael. But two things happen.
No,
Two
Ben, I was saying
great-
why. Why the last man?
Why the last man? We'll get into that in a second. But, Michael, two of the great post-apocalyptic tropes happen. He finds a doggo,
Oh, classic doggo, yeah.
and they become best friends, as seen in films like I Am Legend
Yeah.
and Dylan versus Monsters, or whatever that one was. Love and Monsters.
Oh, I love him. The Ben Colopy story. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, the
it.
Ben Colopy story. So there's a doggo, and then he builds himself a robot, Michael.
Oh.
Builds himself a robot. He makes a giant breakthrough in AI and builds himself a robot companion.
Oh, like Winston.
And that's the inanimate object I was talking about. Yeah, so it's Wilson, but it's not.
He's a robot now. Benjamin,
He's a robot.
we'll
Yeah.
look forward to all of them.
I'd say they'll be interesting, Michael, but it's good to see Apple TV pumping money into sci-fi.
Benjamin,
Yes.
speaking of streaming services pumping money into genres,
Nice.
are you familiar with writer, director, producer Mike Flanagan?
Oh, I like Mike Flanagan, I think.
Yeah, you do. He did Gerald's Game. I think that was your favourite one that he did.
Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it, Michael? It was a
weird
film.
one, Ben. He does weird
it was-
horrors. You'd know
Yeah,
him
but
from,
he's good at it, though, isn't he?
You'd know him from doing weird horrors. He did the weird horror Oculus. I don't know if you remember that with Karen Gillan.
Oh, that was so weird.
It was
Karen
about
Gillan, not having a
spooky
great
eye and
time.
a spooky mirror. And he did he did the most recent Netflix super hits, Ben. There's Ghosts in My House, and the sequel, There's More Ghosts in This Other House.
The Haunting of Bly Manor and The Haunting of Hill House.
Thank
I think
you very
is
much.
What you're
Yes,
talking
he did
about.
both of those. Yes.
Do you know what? If you don't get a job one day writing Hollywood films, just the titles, you don't have to do anything else.
Just the names of them.
It'll be a
Benjamin,
waste. Yeah.
Anyway, he's back, Ben,
Go on.
and he's adapted the Stephen King story Midnight Mass into a 7-issue miniseries on Netflix.
I've never heard of Midnight Mass, Michael. What's it about?
You see, Ben, because I've actually done a little conceit there. It's not a Stephen King story at all. It's
got me.
nothing to do with Stephen King whatsoever, Benjamin. But it
got
is
me.
so Stephen King. You would be forgiven for easily believing that scurrilous lie I've just invented. Because
Go on, Michael. Give me the Stephen King beats to this tale.
this is, Ben, it's set on a small island with a population of 127 in somewhere in either northwestern or northeastern America.
Maine.
It could be Maine, it could be Seattle. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's off the coast somewhere.
And it's Mishti.
It's Mishti, Ben. Everyone's fishing and depressed, And
yeah, there's a lot of beer drinking going on.
there's a lot of beer drinking, and the town has seen better days, Ben. The town itself is dying. The town itself is becoming a ghost.
I think the real tragedy of that, Michael, is we used to think that was like some great deep town tragedy. Now it's just global economies and migration of people towards city jobs.
Oh my God, Ben, you're so depressing today. Say something
Yeah.
upbeat. Do Mario.
Ended quickly in a zombie apocalypse.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know. Like, I haven't got a lot to go on.
All right, so welcome to Depression with Benjamin and Mick. So Benjamin, we followed the story of Riley, and he left the island as a young man, and he became a successful business guy. He was always doing stocks or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Until one day, Ben, he did a drunk driving, and he killed a lady.
Oh, no. Stocks and drunk driving. No good.
And he killed a lady, Ben, and now she haunts his nightmares every night. But that's not actually what the story's about. The story's about him returning after his stint in prison, a changed man.
Dickbag. Yeah, go on.
And returning to his community of lapsed Catholics, Ben.
Ah, another classic Kingian trope.
Exactly, Ben. But Ben, there's a mysterious new young trendy priest.
Oh, he's very trendy.
He's very young and he's very trendy and he's very mysterious, and he's arrived at the same time as Riley, and he seems to be causing some sort of spiritual and religious revival on the island.
Oh.
Partly, perhaps, due to some sort of supernatural influence.
Oh, and needful things, Michael.
Oh, there's something afoot. There's something going on. There's some
I
mystery
see.
here. Ben, I'm going to tell you the mystery now because I've seen almost all of it. But
Go on.
So, very big spoilers for Midnight Mass. Before we get into spoilers, though, I have thoroughly enjoyed it. It is my favourite Stephen King miniseries of all time.
Despite not being Stephen.
Despite not have nothing to do with Stephen King whatsoever.
Is it? Can I ask you a quick question before you give me a little bit more
All right.
detail?
Yes.
Is it a better Stephen King because it takes the core of Stephen King and then avoid the Kingisms that kind of make it like...
No, I think it's going to be very Kingy in the end, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't like Stephen King, I can't see you liking this.
Okay.
It's very Stephen King. It has some of the negatives about Stephen King as well, of like plot points not really going anywhere, and
Oh, yeah.
like if it was a Stephen King book, it would be it. It's like it's long and there's a lot of chit chat and there's so many themes, Ben. Arguably too many themes. And sometimes, Ben, your themes keep repeating is in case you missed the theme.
Oh, yeah, you get bludgeoned over the head with the thing.
Yeah, because the theme. I'll tell you the theme, Ben, without going any further into spoilers. But the theme is very much like the Bible. If you think about it, is pretty horrific with all the blood drinking and sin forgiving and coming back from the dead, and it's all pretty horrific, isn't it?
Yeah, that Old Testament, there's a reason they scrubbed a lot of it from the Sunday service.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there that isn't the best. Anyway, Benjamin, we're going to go into big mad spoilers for Midnight Mass, but don't listen if you want to watch Midnight Mass, because I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and figuring out was part of the fun. So, cover your earballs or skip ahead. There are time codes in the description below, so you can easily do that. Benjamin, it's vampires.
Oh. Oh, it's Salem's Lot.
But no,
they're remaking Salem's Lot as we speak. Michael.
Yeah, I know. But this is better, I'd say. It's the thing is, you suspect. You suspect the priest. You suspect the new young priest is like the mastermind behind the whole thing, but it's revealed, Ben, that he was an old man with dementia. He was the original priest.
What?
And on a trip to Damascus, he was attacked by a vampire. But in his delusional state of a dying old man, he thought it was an angel. And
oh dear!
Although he has been de-aged, he still thinks it's an angel. So he's the reason for the religious revival, Ben, is he's spiking the community mass with vampire blood and gradually turning everyone into vampires, except the atheists and the Muslims and the lapsed.
Yeah, okay, we can't get them.
Yeah. It's pretty good though, Ben. It's pretty good. I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
I'm probably going to watch that, Michael. That sounds interesting.
Very Kingian, a little bit slow, very atmospheric. Good though.
It has that lad from. What was the one Dan Stevens was in? Legion.
Yes, it does. Yeah. He's the priest.
He's the young priest.
He's the young priest. He's absolutely incredible in it. He is the absolute highlight of it. He's amazing. He plays the character as though he were a befuddled, charismatic Ross from Friends. It's if he were a priest. It's amazing. It's best performance of the year.
It's quite a review for his acting portfolio.
It is. It's the performance of the year, Benjamin. It's brilliant, especially when you find out he's not the mastermind.
Yeah, it ain't him.
It's very good, Ben. It's very good. I thoroughly recommend watching it. It is very enjoyable.
It sounds very good, Michael.
Yes. Speaking of enjoyable, Ben.
Go on.
What did you think of this week's episode of the Marvel television program, Marvel's What If?
Oh, Michael, what a breath of bloody fresh air.
Ben, they just did a Looney Tunes comedy episode.
Michael, I cannot describe how much I enjoyed this bloody episode, especially after the lukewarm bloody Killmonger episode that we got the week before.
Benjamin, you know our good friend Nando V Movies?
Yeah.
That was his favourite episode.
I think it's my favourite episode too, Michael.
No, Killmonger.
Oh, he's wrong, but that's okay.
That's okay. He can have wrong opinions sometimes.
He's got a very successful YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Why was it his favourite?
He liked it. Characters and whatnot, development and stuff.
There was no development, Michael. He was the same character. He's been the same character for around a 20-year span.
I didn't like it either. But I like this one.
This one was great, wasn't it?
And I've discovered what I most like about this series is when it just goes wildly off the beaten track.
That's the whole point of What If, Michael.
Is it?
Isn't it, though?
Is it? According to whom?
According to me.
Is it not sometimes just been one small change and what that could lead to?
Yeah, but that's the whole point, Michael. It's a butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps its wings in Africa and suddenly Thor's a bro. You know what I mean?
Very good.
It's
Benjamin. All right. But look at this though, right? Look at this episode. This is not a what if. Because this isn't what would have happened if Thor had been an only child. For example, why was Surtur a good guy?
They're all good guys.
Why are they all good guys? What's Drax doing celebrating on the planet with Mantis? They would have never met. Or maybe they would, but why are they there? And
how did Mantis get away from Ego?
How did Mantis get away from Ego? How did all of this change because Thor is an only child? What's going on?
Oh, it's great because Asgard's much better.
How did he meet Korg?
He went around and he found what's his name? Taskmaster, the Grandmaster.
Yeah, he's there.
He's
Jeff
chilling.
Goldblum
Jeff Goldblum is there for
3
one
words.
line.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Look, Michael, I just thought it was joyous. I just thought it was a real fun little episode. It was great. I thought Captain Marvel was a much more likable character all of a sudden.
Ever so slightly, yeah.
Yeah, just
There's
more
an
enjoyable
Earth word for women like you. Party pooper.
There, I said it.
That was my favourite line.
All they did was what's Chris really good at? Comedy. Let's just do that.
Let's just do a comedy episode.
Let's just do that. And it is Looney Tunes, Michael, because there's the scenes where they get uppercutted across continents, and you get zoomed out on the map when they land.
You can see the name of the
different
country.
places.
Brilliant.
At one point, Thor plays dominoes with Stonehenge. It's great.
It's very good. It's very entertaining, Ben. I have to say, even though, Ben, I'm not one of the people who hates Captain Marvel, I went to see it twice in the cinema, and I'd put her in the middle of my list of characters who I'm interested in Marvel.
Sure.
But, my butthole puckered every time she was on screen that she was just going to fly in and sort everything out. I don't know why I have that fear. I think it might be the cesspool of the internet that convinces me that that's going to happen.
I think it's toxified your mind because I had the same response, Michael. The thing I hated, the line that I hated, and it's definitely internalized misogyny and the internet, is the line where she's like, I was holding back. And you're like, what?
Were you?
What?
Were you?
And I was like, he's like, I can't flatten him because I'd flatten the planet. And I was like, fuck off.
Well, I think you can say, because no one believed her in the episode.
Yeah, I mean,
Everyone's
but that's the thing. People were like, I mean, also they armed the nukes. They were like, fuck it. I don't know if she can do this.
You see, I don't think any of this is canonical anyway, because it's all
it
imagination.
Doesn't matter. Yeah,
but it is actually the first time we've seen Captain Marvel lose.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they both lose, don't they? It's a stalemate. Is it not?
I think Thor wins that fight.
Which one?
The only one they have. How does the fight end?
I can't remember.
With Captain Marvel pinned under Mjolnir.
Oh yeah, he sits Mjolnir on her.
Yeah.
See, that for me was like a big old Marvel comic moment where it was like, and Thor won the day by sitting Mjolnir on top of Captain Marvel.
Well, that's how he beats Loki in the first Thor film.
Yeah, he's like, dum.
Yeah.
And it's enjoyable. I wasn't sure. They did a lot of foreshadowing with Captain Marvel following the track of the hammer.
Yes.
And I was like, if they let Captain Marvel lift that hammer, I'm out.
But Benjamin.
And again, I think it's internalized misogyny.
I think you're just a Saj, or you're not that fond of Captain Marvel.
Is that what we're calling them now?
Yeah, I've stolen that from I've stolen that from Australian podcaster Auntie Donna, so we can't.
You're a Saj.
You can't use it. But I started saying it in my own real life, so we're not laying claim that I haven't invented that.
That'd be good in a t-shirt. Oh no. I think I'm a Saj.
Sorry, I forgot I don't say. I try to avoid stealing jokes on the podcast, but I've accidentally just stolen one there. Benjamin.
Yes.
What were you saying? Yeah, there was that. But I mean, in this episode, Captain Marvel is definitely more worthy than Thor.
Yeah, Thor's a
big
pillock.
gobshite.
Yeah, he's a big gobshite.
He's a big gobshite, Ben. He's wrecking everything.
I thought that the making Jane the core, they're really making use of the fact that they have Natalie Portman back on board.
Yeah, they've got her back on side.
It's funny, like I think that's very much like a refresher course for people to be like, this is Jane Foster. Remember Jane Foster?
Remember
this is
Jane?
her.
She's back. Does everybody remember Jane? My girlfriend Jane.
Oh, look, it's Jane. And it's there is a lot of recapping of the film. There's a lot of in-jokes. I think like Thor 1 probably got a few rewatches off the back of this where people were like,
probably.
What?
Benjamin.
Yeah.
They just can't do distinctive women though, can they?
They do all fall under the Everhart syndrome. I call it the Everhart syndrome.
Yes.
Because it's the one that, you know, Rachel, what's her name? Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers her character. You couldn't, like, the least believable thing about Doctor Strange, What If episode, is that she played such a central role in his life.
Well, Benjamin, that's not where I was going. That's a bit more, I don't think that's even internalized misogyny. I think that's just common or
it's
garden
just regular
misogyny.
Saj, is it? Damn it.
Common or garden misogyny. But
okay.
What I meant was the character designs of the women. You could you could line up Christine Everhart, Jane Foster, Darcy, whatever Darcy's name is, Darcy, and if they're not speaking, you have no idea who's who.
They're not distinct.
Not a clue. Peggy Carter a little bit, but only because of her distinctive 50s hair.
You could probably throw in Frigga there as well.
Yeah, they all just look the same. They've got exactly the same face. And the men have more distinctive faces. Someone in the animation team has female face blindness. I'm not saying it's you, because you are a noted sufferer of female face blindness.
Saj.
Stop stealing that joke. I know it's a great word, but we can't have it. It's not ours.
Well, we've given attribution. Can we not just?
No, we can't have it, Ben. It's not our
right,
word.
it's gone.
Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ben, what about that twist ending, though?
Oh, bloody Voltron.
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 It's not Voltron, Ben. It's Ultron.
No, it's Voltron.
Go on. Oh, because he's
Vision and Ultron.
Very good. Very clever.
Yeah, it's a great little twist. See, I want to see that episode.
I think we are going to see that episode.
Oh, that's what we're getting, is it?
I think that's what the next 2 episodes are going to be. They're going to be 2 episodes of the dimensions being invaded by this asshole.
Oh, good.
And
I'll watch that.
We're going to have Party Thor, Evil Doctor Strange, Peggy Carter, Steve Rogers in the Iron Man suit.
An interdimensional Avengers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
They'll probably
I'll
lose,
watch that.
though. They'll probably lose.
I hope so, because it seems to enjoy a dark and twisted ending, Michael. Not unlike myself on this week's podcast.
This week's podcast, Depression with Michael and Benjamin.
Just Benjamin. You're fine.
Depression with just Benjamin.
Just Benjamin.
But
yeah, it was a good old episode, Michael. I'd enjoy that more in season 2.
Yes.
Of Marvel's What If. A bit more, you know, caution to the winds. Let's just have fun with it.
Just have fun with it. Just riff with it.
I'd watch that, Michael, 1,000 times. Michael, do you know what's generally not fun though?
Oh, misogyny, I guess.
Misogyny is the correct answer, Michael. That's exactly where I was going.
Oh, good.
And it's been interesting, Michael. We've had a lifetime, some might say, of misogyny in film. We've seen a lot of it, Michael. We've seen a lot of different tropes that are targeted at women. Fridging, Michael.
Stick him in the fridge, Green Lantern style.
Stick him in the fridge. And while not overtly misogynist in terms of degrading any women or anything like that, it's systematic. It's a systemically kind of misogynist, and it spreads a subconscious cultural message of women are disposable. It's not a big deal. It's a terrible message, Michael.
All right. Well, just to set our stalls out here, I'm probably going to disagree with a good bit of this.
Yeah, no, it'll be grand.
Okay, just so you know, let's set our stalls out here before we begin, because I'm probably going to disagree with a good bit of this, because I don't think the leap to misogyny is always actually the correct response. But anyway, let's have a look.
If we ever do write a book, Michael, on tropes in fiction, and we probably will one day, Michael, because we're very famous, and
very booky.
Book deals around the corner. We should call it The Leap to Misogyny.
Very good.
It's a great name. I really like that, Michael. That was very good. So, Michael, there's a law in science there somewhere that says to every action there is a reaction, equal but in the opposite direction.
Okay, that's not exactly what it says, but that's close
enough.
Go on,
you do it for me, because you're a science boy.
That'll do. It's
plausible for this one.
Yeah, that'll do. In the original Latin, Ben, of course, it's ignito cognitus.
Equus.
That's
Roger.
small horses. Yeah. All right.
But Michael, in this particular case, if we were to take, hardcore misogyny, let's say, I don't have an example off the top of my head. Damn it.
Yeah. What's his name? Gilbert Weinstein.
Oh yeah, okay. So let's have him, and let's make a terrible film with him. And Mr. Weinstein makes a film, and women are getting slapped all over the place, and they're secondary characters, and they're used for plot devices and what the like. What we're discussing today, Michael, is kind of the swing to the other side of the pendulum, and that's good for her.
Good for, as Christian Bale would say.
As Christian would say, good for her.
Do the clap.
I don't want to clap. That's a very, very strange reference to an onset outburst by Christian Bale, which a lot of people have probably forgotten by now. But Michael, I have been fascinated by this since it came across my radar, Michael. This is the good for her trope, or the good for her plot, or the good for her theme that we're seeing emerge, Michael.
Very good.
In things. And what it comes from, where the name comes from, is from an Arrested Development meme.
Oh.
An Arrested Development meme.
I've seen Arrested Development.
Yeah, it's a great old show, Michael. So the matriarch of the Arrested Development family at one point turns to the camera and says, "Good for her."
Very good.
Good for her. In response to a frankly, horrifically, morally reprehensible action by a female character. And the joke is, how could you possibly see that as a good thing? But she's such kind of a cynical woman that is a good thing for her to witness. So that's where it comes from, Michael.
Died recently, unfortunately.
Yeah, she did, and she did loads of voice acting, Michael, on Archer.
Yeah, she was Mallory Archer, literally the same character.
Literally the same character. That one made a career out of being that character, and it was good. And it was great, and it never got old. It actually didn't. I'm not even being sarcastic. It was just enjoyable to watch.
What is the horrible action? Do you know?
I can't remember what it is. It's something that... No, I can't remember what it is.
Never mind. Just carry on.
I wish I had known. But anyway, so Good for Her has become a trope that kind of characterizes two things, Michael. It's the female revenge film that we see, and acts of female rage that are deemed justified by the script.
All right.
Or by the other characters in the film. Okay? Now, it's really, really important here, Michael, that when we look at the kind of history of female rage within film, there are two ways of treating it. One way, and the more common way that we see it, is that it's not taken seriously, and it's played off as kind of a cute thing. When women get all angry, we see that in sitcoms and stuff a lot of the time. Female anger is kind of a spectacle in things like that.
They're always being so dramatic, the ladies.
Exactly.
Oh, they're so hysterical.
So that's exactly hysterical anger from women is a very common thing in sitcoms. And the other way that we see it, Michael, is, my God, that's how could she sink so low? You know, and it's either it's never a justifiable action, or they do something horrific. So those are the general two responses that we've come to expect in media to female rage. It's either, oh, look at her throwing a tantrum, okay, or it's, my God, how could you? How could you? And what sets this trope apart, Michael, is that after witnessing the act of female revenge or female violence as retribution, we stand there and we go, huh, good for her.
Oh, do we? Okay.
We don't necessarily all the time, Michael, but it's certainly what's aimed at in the script, if that makes sense.
I see what you're saying.
So, two things that must take part is that it's in the good for her trope is that it's unbridled female rage, so it's taken very seriously.
Right.
It's a scary thing. It's a powerful thing. It's not some kind of impotent tantrum that we see on screen. And the other thing is that it must be cathartic.
For who?
For the character or the audience.
Okay. So
we have to feel that this level of violence or retribution is justified. It takes two forms within film currently, at the current rate.
Go on.
One is an incredible act of violence.
Right.
So catharsis through sheer anger and aggression. And then the other one is calculated destruction of the antagonist's life, as we might see. So there are two ways we can look at that in two kind of classic films.
Go on.
Number one is for unbelievable amounts of violence. Jennifer's Body is a good shout for that.
Oh, that's where she's going, oh, look at my tongue, I'm going to burn my tongue.
Yeah, so this is kind of the sleeper cult classic, Michael, that didn't do very well when it came out originally. But has now become something of a little gem, Michael.
It's
with hindsight.
Megan Fox, Ben.
It's Megan Fox, Seyfried. Michael, and Amanda Seyfried. And in that, Megan Fox, unfortunately, is sacrificed. To make a band more famous.
By a bunch of, what would you call them, Ben? You couldn't call them sodges, because that would be stealing someone else's joke.
That'd be stealing someone. We could just say misogynists, Michael.
All right, good, yeah.
Just a classic.
Poor lad.
So, back at them, and a demon possesses Jennifer's body, and goes about inflicting massive amounts of violence on other men.
Very
Not necessarily
sore.
those men.
Looks very sore.
Looks very sore. She eats them a lot of the time. Michael.
Yeah.
It's
she gets a bit lesbian-y.
So it's a horror film. It's taken that way. That could be looked upon. That was given to me by my good lady friend Michael, because when I was talking about this theme, she was like, "Oh, like Jennifer's Body." It's like, yes, like Jennifer's Body. That's a perfect
Doing a
example.
revenge, exactly.
Well done. And then the other one is the calculated destruction of an antagonist's life, and the most recent example of that, Michael, would be Gone Girl.
Gone Girl. I don't know if it would be the most recent, because I've seen a few recently. I don't know if they necessarily fit into your trope. But do you remember A Simple Favor?
I do. That's a great example.
That's kind of similar. And also, Ben, I watched that one recently about real estate agents who were evil.
Good. What was that called again?
I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called...
It starred the same actress from Gone Girl.
I think it was called...
It's
it did
Rosamund
start
Pike.
the same actress from
Rosamund
Gone Girl.
Pike.
It was Rosamund Pike again. I think it was called Good for Her, the film.
The film. But anyway, yeah, so you have those two possible things. Now, this trope lives or dies by the
I
cathartic
care a
nature.
lot.
I care a lot. So yeah, this trope lives and dies by catharsis. And catharsis is the working through of tension, frustration, trauma, etc. In a single act, or over a long process. It's the kind of resolution of trauma, if that makes sense. So theoretically, when we watch a film, Michael, what we want to see is we want to not necessarily experience the trauma with the character, but we want there to be some kind of release for the tension and trauma that we've seen the character go through.
Ben, did you see Promising Young Woman?
So we're gonna get into that, Michael, because it's coming up, and that gets really interesting. Now, the other important thing here, Michael, is that we're not making a moral judgment on the trope, right?
We're not.
Very often, when we see this, we as the audience cannot empathize with the level of violence inflicted by the female character.
Mm.
So they're not good people. It doesn't mean they're good. That's not what we're focused on here. What we're focused on is catharsis. They can still be a terrible person, but for whatever reason, through the plot of the film, we've come to side with the point of view that her actions are justifiable within the world of the script.
Did anybody see the film Gone Girl and finish up thinking, good for her?
No, and that's the point. So
Okay.
Anyway, the first film that we've seen this in, Michael, is Kill Bill.
Right.
So-
or as you call it, Murder William.
Murder Williams. So in this particular case, Kill Bill is just a straight up revenge flick that takes its cues from 70s kind of exploitation films, things like I Spit on Your Grave and Pussycat Die Die Die, those weird kind of kitsch pulp films from way back in the day. And we watch Uma Thurman go around and just take care of business.
There are a couple of differences, though, to the 70s films. For
Go on.
one, and not thankfully, but at least, most of the 70 films are rape revenge films.
Yeah, so that's a big one.
Yeah, and at least Kill Bill isn't, if I remember correctly. I think
Well,
it
you see,
was
that's
just
the
a
thing.
common or garden murder.
Well, this is the awful thing. I don't know if we do trigger warnings on this podcast, but sexual assault is one. So if you don't want to listen to that, you can.
It's probably too late.
It's probably a little bit too late now, but there is a rape in Kill Bill.
Is there?
She's raped in her hospital bed.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is there.
It's not the central driver, though.
It's not the central drive.
It's just kind of incidental, which
the
might be
murder
worse.
of Bill is the central drive. But yeah, so there is an incident of rape in Kill Bill, but it's not the central thing. But it is used, Michael, as the final push for Uma Thurman to come out of her coma,
Ah, you're right. It is not suboptimal,
which is not
Ben,
great.
Suboptimal. Ben,
Yeah,
one of the things I like about Kill Bill is Kill Bill a 90s film? It probably is late 90s, is it?
late
Or
90s, early 2000s. Yeah.
One of the things I like about it, as compared to a lot of the modern female revenge films, is her revenge is almost equally distributed between men and women.
Yes, it's everybody on the chopping block.
Everybody. And one of the weird things I've been seeing recently, because, we've been watching a lot of female revenge films lately with
We have
Kate, Jolt, Gunpowder Milkshake,
Yep.
and all of them are exclusively women kicking men in the head.
A lot of it emerges around that idea. Yeah, it is. It has become a kind of anti-patriarchy.
Absolutely,
trope.
absolutely incredible ultra-violence directed only at men. And even the likes of John Wick. Okay, it's a man killing mostly men. But
Yes.
there's usually a female henchperson or two in there. And that brings up a weird thing about male violence towards women. But the glee with which these modern films have just comical, repercussion-free violence from women to men exclusively. It's a bit of a contrast to Kill Bill.
So yeah, so this you've hit a wonderful point there, because what we witness there, when you say that kind of gleeful violence against men, very often when we see that gleeful violence executed, the man in question has been comically misogynistic.
Well, not in these recent films where they're often just thugs. They're just random thugs.
So it's okay, fair enough. So like Gunpowder Milkshake.
Gunpowder Milkshake is the amount of men who are killed by women in that film is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And, it takes a good... I was watching Gunpowder Milkshake thinking, could you imagine a film where John Wick breaks into a school of female assassins and spends 30 minutes killing only women with gleeful abandon? And how would that be received?
That's not going to go well.
Probably not great. Probably not great. Anyway, I'm kind of slightly derailing your point. So
No, you're not at all, because where that comes in is this trope is quite liked by some parts of the internet and really railed against in other parts, because people are confusing the good for her trope with some kind of feminist trope.
Okay.
whereupon the female character's ability to inflict brutal, often stomach-turning violence against men is some kind of feminist stance or something like this. So there is an inherent toxicity within the trope that to be, I don't know, feminist or equal is to be
kicking men in the head,
psychopathic. And so it has come under a lot of debate because you said it earlier. Nobody roots for Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl.
There might be some lunatics who do.
But, the majority audience probably won't have that response. The revelation of Rosamund Pike is horrific for the audience. We're like, what?
Oh, no. What about egg?
Oh, that is awful. Oh. So it's a really interesting trope. And people have been taking license with it now because it's having like a cultural moment, as you said. We're getting a lot of these films. And it's going unquestioned because what they're taking is that core catharsis for the audience where we watch it and go, yeah, look at that misogynist get a pop in the chops. Or, you know what I mean? And it's cathartic. It's nice for the audience at this lightning bolt moment, post Me Too, all of this kind of cultural movement towards, especially in the entertainment industry, a balance or equality between men and women. You know what I mean? So it's right at the spear tip of that, and it can get a little bit messy because it's an emerging trope, and it gets strange. But, Michael,
go on.
I think we're about to witness the tipping point because
yes,
of Promising Young Woman.
Oh, I've accidentally preempted you.
You did preempt me, but that's
Ben,
okay because we got to it. Yeah.
If I'd accidentally preempted you in one of those films, I'd probably get some sort of comeuppance.
See, that's interesting. Have you seen Promising Young Woman?
I have, yes.
Yeah. So, have you seen the trailers for Promising Young Woman?
I have, yes.
Yeah. Are they the same?
Yes. You're obviously thinking no, but go on.
Well, the ones that I saw, Michael, promise a female revenge film.
All right, okay. As opposed to the psychological study. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of a damaged and broken woman.
Yeah. So this is interesting, and what the marketing department wanted, Michael, was to sell you a good for her film.
Right. I see.
Where we'd see unbridled female rage, and we'd get to see grand acts of retribution and things like that. That's not what we get, Michael.
Like, I suppose the key, I don't remember if this is even in the trailer, but the key scene where she's been brought home by that guy from the OC, what's his name? Seth something.
Oh, Seth.
Seth Green. Let's call him Seth Green.
It's not Seth Green, but it's the guy from the OC.
Yeah,
it's Seth from the OC, by the way. That's not his actual name.
That's not his real name at all. Pacey from the OC. Joshua Jackson. She's been brought home by the OC's Pacey. And then she suddenly looks at the camera and stops being drunk and sits up and says, "No, what are you doing?" And that seemed to be the moment of the film that was going to be the point.
Yes. It's Adam Brody.
Adam Brody, that's who it is.
Adam Brody. Yes, so we're sold this. We're sold this idea that this woman goes around and in a Christian Bale, American Psycho style, dispatches with men who are sexual assaulters. That's what we're promised from those trailers.
Yeah.
Or what we're led to believe. I don't know if a trailer promises us anything, but
have you ever seen the trailer for Suicide Squad?
Oh boy, that is misleading. But that's not what we get, Michael. That's not what we get at all. It's far more a psychological study into the guilt and trauma that comes from, first of all, the culture that we're in on occasion. And second of all, of knowing someone who has gone through rape or sexual assault. And it's a really interesting study, Michael. And most importantly, and spoilers here for Promising Young Woman, it doesn't have a cathartic ending.
No.
She fails.
It ends up being morally weird and gross.
Yeah, she fails in her goal of revenge. And it's interesting because it was leveraged to be a good for her film in the trailer.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. It just totally unrelated, but it's just since you brought up Christian Bale.
Yeah.
That film bloody American Psycho.
Yeah.
That has to be the most missed the point film of recent years. There are so many men around, let's say, are in and around our ages, Ben.
Yes.
Maybe even a little bit older and a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Who think it's cool to style themselves on that character.
TikTok is awash with them, Michael.
It's insane. It's crazy. Like, it's about someone who's a lunatic. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm like him, but if he wasn't a lunatic.
I think that's an episode we should do in the future, Michael.
Yeah, everyone stop watching American Psycho. I know it's a good film, but don't base your personality
Michael, that's going to
on
be
it.
a great future episode. I'm in.
Okay, we can call it Everyone Stop Watching American Psycho and just keep playing a clip saying, good for you.
Yeah, man. That's going to be a good episode, Michael. Well done. Well done. On-air podcasting.
That's got nothing to do with anything anyway.
Anyway,
we're talking about women killing everyone.
It's a really interesting trope. It's come out big time. It's kind of a more toxic version of, you know, that scene in I think it's Endgame, where all the female characters of the MCU join together and give Thanos a bit of a whooping.
Yes, that's quite funny.
It's quite funny. It wasn't executed to the best of its ability.
Nah.
And even like the biggest fans of the female characters in the MCU were like,
oh no, that's silly. Benjamin.
Yeah.
Did anybody really watch Midsommar and at the end go, good for her?
So again, Michael, a very interesting one. Because it's an emerging trope, because it's just gaining kind of thing, we very often equate good for her with, you know, a desirable outcome. Like we quite often equate good for her with feminism, or good for her with positive outcome. This is what we wanted. It's not. What we're focused on is violence and catharsis. It's that breath of fresh air from the tension of the trauma experienced by the character. But it's very, very often taken as a goal by audiences who maybe aren't paying enough attention. You get swept up in the film, you don't critically analyze it very well, and you end up walking away from the film going, good for her.
Good for her. Ben, in the olden days, they just have her dad beat everyone up.
That'd be it. That'd be the job. That'd be the job.
I mean,
but it's interesting.
That's the plot of Taken.
That is the plot of Taken. He has a very specific set of skills, and his little girl can't do anything.
Yeah, Taken, as opposed to a good for her, a catharsis moment, is like, just send in Granddad and have him karate chop everyone in the neck. Yeah,
and it's a very interesting trope, Michael. I'm kind of fascinated by it.
Good for you.
Good for me. I don't know if I've explained it that well, ladies and gentlemen, but you can let me know what you think of this trope.
Yeah.
You can find us on the interwebs at www.seomrabeag.com, SEOMRABEAG.com.
It means tiny room in Irish. I forgot to do my bit.
You've dropped your beat. Get out of here. You can let me know what you thought of it in another place as well. You can find us on Instagram at Sure Look, Sure Listen Podcast.
It means tiny room in Irish.
It means, no, it doesn't. We're on Twitter at Listen Sure. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have a chat with us, if you've ever found yourself, wondering what Chris Pratt would look like photoshopped onto Super Mario.
Yeah.
Only one place to find that kind of content, and that's on our Discord, baby.
Or Reddit.
But on our Discord, baby. You can go to Reddit anytime.
That's
better for us. Get up on our Discord. We'd love to have you there. Ladies and gentlemen, next week's episode is very exciting. We have a special guest on the podcast.
Oh, do we?
Yes, Stephen J. Cadwell is joining us to talk about horror and video games. Are video games the new best vehicle for the horror genre?
Oh, very exciting.
What do you think? We have an actual academic who's written a paper on this subject, Michael, coming onto the episode to chat about it with us. It's a very exciting time.
It's all very academic.
It's also going to kick off our bloody Spooktober. Over the next 4 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have 4 great episodes all about spooky, scary skeletons sending shivers up your spine. We'll be examining various horror tropes throughout the month. So do get in touch with us coming up to Spooktober. Ooh. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us this week. We'll talk to you soon.
We're going to have a little rest now.
Yeah, good for us.
Good for us.